said, we'll call the meeting to order. And would anybody like to open us up with an invocation?
Sure, be glad to.
Okay.
Father in heaven, thank you for this day. Thank you for the beauty of this day. Thank you for the rain that you brought to nourish the land. Lead us and guide us in the steps we take to help White Lake. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. We'll stand for the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So on our agenda, we should do the minutes next, right?
Right.
Okay. So everybody has a copy of our minutes from last meeting, the August 28th meeting.
Yes.
And Mr. Allen, I know that you were not here, but you kind of been keeping up with what we've been doing, right?
Yes.
Via the emails.
Yes.
Do you have any other changes that?
I do not. No.
Okay. Mr. Ray?
That's
Kurt, do you have any?
Nope.
So
I so moved that we accepted.
second,
Second.
all right. So that will make the changes that we had in the minutes to the bylaws, correct? I'll let you catch up. I understand what you're doing and we appreciate what you're doing.
We made the first.
Mr. Ray. Hey lady, how are you doing?
Computer, thank you. Are you okay?
Oh, you're fine. We just approved the minutes from last meeting
Okay.
and there were some changes that we had made to the copy that you have that we had not gotten to Tina. So they're not in this copy, the changes that we talked about last meeting. So we just approved those. So then she'll make those before they're presented to the board, those changes for us. About the Zoom meeting and put the numbers for the bullets correct. So there was something that we were kind of talking about before everybody got in here. The recreation board. Well, I'm talking about bylaws now. I know that what we had talked about is made, but there was a question that I have that was brought up by the recreation. They put a stipulation in there where they can meet quarterly. If they want to. In other words, if we don't, if we're coming through the holiday season or, we could meet monthly or quarterly, we would have to meet at least quarterly. To make our commitment, but you like that?
I do.
You talking about starting now, or just wait till we really get
Whenever we want to.
our framework going that we can.
I feel like when we get the framework going myself, because we got a lot of, like I was saying before that, questions and people, to talk to and things like that. But if we saw we had a time that we were going to be waiting on reports or other things, we could say, well, let's wait and do it 3 months or
So the November meeting and the December meeting, all on Thanksgiving. Not here.
Oh. Yeah, so town hall is not open. So we would either need to change those. Yeah. We would either need to change those meetings or say, we'll pick back up in January. So that would be.
Well, hopefully next time we'll have Mr. Lane, is that right?
We're gonna discuss that.
Yeah, hopefully he'll be here, have new information we can work through.
I'll go ahead and tell you, he's not gonna be here in October.
Okay.
But what I'm hoping that we're gonna have are answers to our questions. Okay,
That'll work.
yeah, I'll explain more when we get to, when we get to that, but. So is this, does everybody feel like we wanna make that change? Add that to our bylaws, that we have the option of quarterly meeting? Or, it just has to be, we have to get a hold of, we have to let Tina know, because it has to be announced.
Sure.
You know, where we're gonna be publicly, when we're meeting, or where we're not, so. Anybody has the option to be here and listen and ask and talk. And
How did they have it worded? The,
Tina, how did they work? Okay,
And actually pulled it out of the, your code of ordinance, and I think you guys have a copy of it, the code of ordinance has some. This is all on too. This is actually the town's code of ordinance.
Sean's, it kind of weaved us through it.
I'll take these copies.
Well, you know what he may have done? We probably left him laying here. I'll be honest, we probably left him laying here.
Sure, second.
Thanks, Steve.
seen this before.
Yes, I do remember seeing this, yes.
Section actually says about, actually in the code of ordinance. The kind of section 3506. Yeah, in the actual one, code of ordinance, it states in A, regular meetings, all advisory board meetings will be at least quarterly. So we can word it the same way.
Okay, yes, that's correct.
Yeah, that'll be great.
Do we need a motion for that?
Yes, we will need to make a motion to add that to the bylaws, correct?
I also move that we add to the bylaws that regular meetings will have to be at least quarterly. And just like that, read specific date and time.
Second.
We have a second. Yeah, Miss Mary, second. All in favor?
Ah,
So carries. Okay. Any other things so we can have this finalized with our bylaws so the board can approve? Anything else that anybody else?
This isn't that important, but just under section 2 where we decided to do numbers under section 2, it might be better to do letters, because saying section 2A is a little easier than saying section 2. But it doesn't matter to me.
I'm good either way. I like, instead of counting bullets, I like a number or a letter, so
Yeah,
I'm good either way. Does it matter to anybody else? Whether it's a letter or number?
I think if you see on this,
As long as we're consistent, with ordinances here, everything is a
A letter?
35.08.07. So
well,
just whatever we do is consistent throughout.
35.05, under that, there's an A, and then there's a A1 too. Mhm.
Motion,
Yeah,
Miss Mary's making the motion,
to,
use numbers for the bullets
well,
under section 2.
letters.
I'm sorry, letters instead of numbers.
letters instead, yes. So I so move.
Second. Well, section 3 back here, we already had
Numbers.
letters,
Oh, okay.
it's B, C, D there.
Well, that
So that
makes
should be the
more
only-
sense, yeah.
Yes,
and the second,
Yes,
I'll second.
she second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Keep looking, 'cause
The middle.
I didn't understand what you said.
Yeah, the form, we want section 1. You want to highlight it by there, the B and then 1. Keep them consistent, let us be. Four high elements. These are the statements. And that's what I, he's putting the bullets instead of numbers or letters.
Everybody see what she's talking about?
No.
Section 3, talking about where we got letter B, C, and D, talking about the appointments to the board, terms of service, qualifications.
Article 3.
Or I'm sorry, I'm looking at the section here. Let me look. It's the 3rd page. So it's under Article 2, Section 3. Where the letter B, C, D is.
Oh, yeah.
So what, Teeny, what you're saying is that that needs to be something other than letters?
No, that's correct.
That's correct.
Two, I think we're correct.
Okay,
See, I'll change it. That's just items. I can change it however you guys want.
okay.
Well, if it starts with B, there's no A.
Yeah, it needs to be an A.
Should be A, B, C instead of B, C, D,
I
right?
think all these items, me too, you can get, I have my
The
name,
A.
minor changes. for you.
Is back.
Well,
He's on the front of the paper before. I mean, the page before.
That's a different section. You know,
Section 2, yeah, yeah, that's right. So Section 3 should be A, B, C.
Yeah. Section 3 should be A, B, C.
We got better glasses on tonight, don't we? We showing off cause Miss Tina's in.
Oh,
We didn't pay attention to any of that last time. Yeah.
Well,
Well, when I-
us did last time.
no, we didn't. No, we did not. Yes, right. I'm sitting here going B, C, D, and I mean, I'm blind, but I'm looking for the A and I'm going, I see other A's, but not a bullet point A.
Or did we just leave A out? What was?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. We just left it out.
that'll be for the next meeting.
Anything else you see on the other pages? We haven't changed anything on that I remember on the other pages. Okay, thank you.
Typos, we can, I can see 11.2, or even typos, we can change that.
Thank you.
What they,
Okay, that sounds great.
it's not changing the meaning of it, it's just changing. the form.
That sounds great. So we're good with the bylaws? Okay. So now we'll, item agenda number 1. So the Lane Garner is right now our superintendent, but he's waiting on the new appointment is on the way. Not sure when that's gonna happen, but Lane has accepted a district position. So he's moved up. So he is still working out of the office over here, but he's hardly there. Because he's having to fulfill his district duties. But when I spoke to him, what he's told me is that it would be real hard with him because it's hard for him to tell the district if he's got an emergency or something that, hey, I've got this appointment, I need to be back at home. So what he said was, if we'll get the questions together, he also told me, he said that there's probably only going to be a small amount of those questions that he can answer. It was going to need to be other people above him, up in Raleigh or somewhere else, but he would be more than happy. He would know who to send them to.
That's what's the next question.
He would know who to send them to. He would send them to them and collect the answers back. And then send us one email of the answers rather than, us trying to cipher out who answered what, where, when, and how kind of deal. But he was tickled to help us in any way he can. Does that sound okay with everybody?
I give him more opportunity to They have to answer all the cup, he needs to check on something, he can do it.
Right.
So
That's what he
be
said.
more efficient.
Might get, we may get a lot better answer with the right person answering it.
That's cool.
So what are we wanting to ask? I know we last time we said something about the seawalls. How do we want to ask the question of the seawalls? So let me say this. He did tell me that the seawalls and piers and buoys, they do regulate from the park. That superintendent does. But there's no really regulation for him to say yes, no, or whatever. It's up to them to mark them. You know, like, in other words, this is where you can put it. But that's about it.
So regulation to them means, looking at the water line and
But-
saying you can put, like they do with piers, you can put your seawall here.
Yes, ma'am. So I remember when I had, I think it was Kristen. It was a couple of superintendents ago. When she came to the cottages when I was there, before I built ours, she was also concerned with the cypress trees. That had something to do with it too. In other words, they didn't want you going out there and incorporating them and building dirt up around them to kill them. So the trees did affect how where they let you put it. And then that was her words to me. Do not come up or backfill or, you know, other trees she wasn't worried about. Cypress, they have issues. So I can say that.
You know, that's one of the things that concern me is coming back to the high water mark.
Mm-hmm.
How is it established? You know, because that's what, as I said last time, that's what people would do, and they could add 20 feet to their property. If you went out there right now, you could add a lot to your property,
Right.
and then you know, backfill it. So how do they determine that? And how is the high water mark determined at the lake?
I think that's a good question to start with. How is the high water level line
Yeah.
established?
Now you can go out and look on my pier and you can see where
Right.
the water used to be.
Right. See the
Most of the
stains.
time.
Yeah.
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 Um,
Yeah. Yeah. Dale Brennan was telling me yesterday, he said several of the rivers and creeks around us, what we call rivers, but they're creeks. People are walking across. Yeah, just dry.
South River's dry.
That's what he was saying. That's what he was telling me. Turnbull, where he has his cows watered out of, he said, I was walking, he showed me a picture. He said the water's usually up here at this tree, and I mean, it didn't look like it was 2 foot wide out there, you know, where he was walking across. So, yeah, now would not be the time to look to where to go, right?
So here's a couple of questions from this discussion. Why don't we ask, what does regulation mean in regards to seawalls? So we get an official answer.
Okay, so what is the seawall regulation?
What does the word in quotes regulation mean regarding, in regards to seawalls? What does it cover? What does regulation cover regarding seawalls?
Miss Terry's over typing
Yeah.
all these down. I'm just jotting down some notes so that I'll know too, in case I talk to him.
How is the high water established?
yeah.
Yeah,
The historical high water mark, I
Mhm.
mean. Or is it something you just, like I said.
Go out and look at
come
the
in-
piers or
Yeah, because it used to be, your house had to be so far back from the high
so
water
many
mark.
feet, right?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so there had to be some kind of historical height, you know, because right now, like I said, there's an extra 20 feet.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Depending on what side of the lake you're on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you could go out.
Mm-hmm.
There's a statute that actually addresses that. Well, again, need him to confirm that.
Yeah.
But if, along those lines, controlling the high water. You know, we've got a
Sand-
lake of this size and such, and we've got sandbags.
Yeah,
Well,
Yeah.
that's my next.
Yeah.
That we need to address.
Back on your, seawall thing or whatever, I thought our goal was to try to get rid of all.
Well, that was mentioned, but nothing was ever done about
and
Oh,
so,
I
it.
know,
Action was ever taken.
well, I went through the last handout we had when we were here, and that's one of the few things we actually can do.
The town, I think the town controls seawalls, right?
no, ma'am,
State does.
Well,
yes, ma'am,
well, they control the location of them, but what about the building permit
that, what building permit,
For seawall.
to build a
what
house?
building permit,
Like there's an issue.
what building permit?
Yeah, just do it.
You call them, they come over and tell you where they can put it. She put some flags down in the ground and took pictures where she put the flags. I built it and I called her back, didn't move the flags. I built it and called her back and she said, okay, and took some pictures, said, okay, looks great.
Wow.
Now, I don't think that's changed. Yeah, the town has nothing to do. It's not like building a structure. Because you, I guess to them, you're attaching to the lake. It's kind of like putting something out the road, driveway, you know, you gotta get the state deal with that. So that's where I think that's a very good question about what is the regulation from the state so that we can better understand. But from what the statement he made to me when I talked to him on the phone, talking about Lane, was he has no rules.
Right.
In other words, whether you can or cannot. That he knows of.
Right.
Well, like Mary Kay said. How does he determine
Yeah, get the regulations,
to
right?
where you put it at this point?
Well, or if you can add any more or not,
Yeah.
because that's been a discussion for a while because we're not getting the natural filter that we got all those years ago. You know,
So is the question who approves seawall building? Seawall construction?
we can add that to it.
It's not like you have to have an inspector come and look at it.
No.
It's-
I think whoever they tell us is where, how the regulation that covers it is, we should tag to that. Who sets that regulation? Is that what we're asking?
Well.
We need to understand who regulates it's what you're saying.
Yeah, I think they're slightly different questions. Who approves seawall construction?
Okay,
The town or park?
the park approves it. You call them and say you want one, he comes over there and looks to see where you can put it.
Okay, well,
He does not tell you, no, you cannot.
do
Correct. He only tells you where to put it.
So you could build on a concrete, you could put 6 feet deep piles in the ground.
Yeah,
Well, that chokes your, no, okay.
I agree.
Well,
It also, the natural flow of the rainfall into the water.
if the town doesn't permit it, they're obviously not checking the construction to see what it's made out of.
No, town has nothing,
Then
to my knowledge, you don't know of anything different, do you, Tina?
Some kids are. Not. Some kids, this week.
It goes through the superintendent at the park, yeah.
Well, I think. Is in, the draft of the stormwater ordinance.
Yes,
In.
yes, he talked to us about that. Yes, I remember that. Yes, that would help us too, but yeah, we, okay. Okay. Okay, but we still on these questions, not only do we want to know about the regulations, we want to know how.
is there an approval process? Does,
Who told him what they need to?
yes, right.
but if yours
Okay.
just gives you the location, you do whatever you want.
I think I'm understanding what you're.
But it's still built on private property. is they go up to the high water lake where the boundary of the lake starts, so the state shouldn't have any,
You're attaching to the water,
no, you're attaching to your property.
but technically you're attaching to the water because the water's up against it.
It is.
So that state
But the
controls. it.
actual piece of whatever you're putting in the ground is actually on your property, correct?
Doesn't matter.
Well.
That's like the pier, you don't own the pier.
Well, it does because then it's on city property, it's in the city limits.
But they're gonna tell you it's connected to the water, so they're over it.
Somewhere here it said that nobody can put anything on the bottom of the lake except the state for state approval.
In this,
Like I read
in,
that.
Yes.
yes, you did.
So, that's the question is that pilings put in your property or are they putting it on the state saying it's okay to do just like the pier? That you have to pay a permit to do that?
No, sir. No, wait a minute.
Or would pier,
I wanna, no.
because with piers, you have to draw it up and send it and all that.
I had to give her a drawing.
Okay,
I did have to give her a drawing.
all right.
It was filed.
Simply,
But just a simple drawing that I did with a ruler on a piece of paper. It was not a CAD drawing or anything. But yes, just like with the pier, I had to give her a drawing of dimensions.
so I think we come back to where is the high water mark and where's your property start and the lake state property
Yes,
start.
it would have to be, I mean, when we build the, on base, when we put, on the blue water ditches, we cannot put the state of mountain mark where it is. And we have to put the structure on our property. It touches it. But it's on our property. If that's the case, then the city should govern these and
That, okay,
permit them and tax them.
so where that would probably come in effect was, or is, when you knew exactly where that high water mark was. Because depending on when these people have called them to come over to put their wall up, they looked at where that water was and I know when mine was done, she had no clue the water was out.
Yeah,
And I said, well, the water's normally up here. I don't want to go past here. Right? But she was gonna let me go out there.
Well, a simple way to deal with that would be on your original deed.
yes.
How does it read? Your width and length? Where are they measuring from
Right.
on the length? I just know when I built the house, once again, I had to put it, I think it was 30 feet, I don't remember, it's been a while back, so. Does the deed say it just runs to the high water mark?
What they did when they originally deeded them is they measured off the road.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or like on White Lake Drive. So I had I had two corners from the road, so many feet, one was like 328, one was 320 or something, but that's the way that was figured out. There was nothing figured as far as high water or.
So were you able to go out from that though? To
Yes,
where the
sir.
water was?
Yeah, I went out past it,
So
but I
that,
didn't go nowhere near where the
so
water
that's my
was.
question. At one point, that was state property.
Correct.
Well, there should be.
So
a
there
master
seems to be
survey
just kind
somewhere
of a
that
conundrum
says this
there
is
about,
allegedly.
I'm sorry, no, you're fine, go ahead.
The whole thing is,
There should be a master survey somewhere that outlines the position of the lake that says this.
So that's questions we can find out.
Yeah.
Yes,
Sorry.
correct.
yeah.
Yes. Should be, was there. It's probably back in the 50s or 40s. Last one that was done. But
Data's data, man.
we've had an issue a lot of my life. I'm not gonna say all of my life, but I remember being a young man, I've seen people come in that bought pieces of property and move stakes. Dig them up and move them.
there has always been a concern about property lines. I'll tell you, when I bought ours, I went ahead and put, recorded a letter, registered deeds to everyone around me that gave them permission to keep using that land until I told them they could not, so they could not ever assert any adverse possession of that land. And it got to be a big deal when my neighbor sold. And of course, we got out there, and of course, the survey, same way. Because our neighbor got all upset that the surveyor did not have a stake in the water, which was X amount of feet from the corner. But also like these corners, because I knew that there was a cement stake at corner of my lot, and I couldn't find it. I thought I've seen it. And lo and behold, there was a guy from the phone company that came out who was doing some stuff. And I said, man, I'm going crazy. Wasn't there a stake there? And he said, oh yeah, we had a cement marker, but it was in the way, so we just took it out.
It's not funny, but
Yeah.
right, that's how it happens.
But that is why I put everybody on notice and said, I know, I believe you're encroaching on my property, and I give you permission to do that until such times I give you written permission to abate that. And that, yeah, that worked. But yeah, there's some real questions about property line.
Right.
Yeah.
And like what y'all are saying, where that the lake line is. But it's my understanding that I guess the state just assumed the authority of the seawalls because they had the piers and buoys. I don't know if they ever give the town the option. I don't know. That'd be a question we can ask, but I don't know if that was ever a town option. As far as placement, location.
Well, if y'all read my email that what, like I said, we can't control the rain, can't control evaporation, groundwater coming up, stuff like that. But if we could establish that, and you're talking about sandbags there, get something set, built that is gonna be, once we determine how we're build it so that when the lake gets up, it's not gonna be running over because it's so low now.
Yeah.
It's, it'll get up and then I don't know, the time is down there because it's running out through the canal. And you said that Keiths are not interested.
Okay.
Isn't that who owns it?
Yes.
They're not interested.
Tom Keith, yeah.
They're not interested in selling that to the town or anything.
No, it's the only piece of waterfront they have for all that land behind Waterford and Turtle. So if they ever wanted to give parcels at their water rights, that would be where they would do them access.
But that's not, it's a 50-foot lot? Or the whole? Well, it's probably a 50-foot lot, because that's, I don't know. But if they could just sell us the canal and keep the other, because all they're talking about is putting a pier, right, if they wanted to.
I
Anyway,
think Jake's talking to Alex about it right now,
okay.
but I'm not sure, but
I just feel like that could go a long way to establishing losing water when we get it. Anyway.
Heard of, at any time, do we know any time about that Alex and them actually offered a piece of property in there to the state? And
before it was theirs, it was offered to the state.
oh, okay, I thought within the last several years. Oh, okay, all right.
As far as parks go, what does it say in there about their responsibility? Just, let's see, I didn't bring it with me, but I know one thing. Monitoring was mentioned. What do they monitor? And how often do they monitor?
What is that?
Over here. This was our agenda and that we got last meeting. And would there be another copy? Would his copy still be here?
So. Would you need another?
Okay, this is all of the DEQ, the Lumber River.
Oh, yeah,
All the
okay.
study stuff.
Yeah.
So she just put all that together for us.
Oh, Jim Perry stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
That's
okay.
what it is.
Okay.
So we had it kind of go through and read and get
Oh,
all.
yeah. Yeah. I'd love to have.
Well, she should have your book in her office.
Outstanding.
But she had one for all of us. Okay,
Thanks, Steve.
Apartment.
Okay.
The after town.
did you see what you wanted?
Starts. Yeah.
Okay, they're responsible Parks is responsible for conservation and protection of natural and ecological resources. Provides oversight of the lake that includes inspection of seawalls, inspecting piers, establishing board. General park management duties, I'm not quite sure what that means.
General what?
Park management duties. So I do know that anytime there's an incident on the water, they have to come over and write a report. So anytime we had, with the fire department, we did any kind of call on the water or on the pier, somebody from the park, one of them came over to do an incident report and to make sure who was liable or whatever.
Yeah,
they consider that they're law enforcement.
Correct.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So
Well,
what,
Yeah, it
That's-
wouldn't be
that's-
deputy or White
what
Lake
is
right,
your-
yeah.
Police.
Yeah,
what is your monitoring duties with the canal?
what does that entail?
Here, read it.
Okay, so here's a question. What do your monitoring duties related to the Turtle Cove outlet entail?
We also need to know, can we build something, right?
That's
Is
what I
that
want
a-
to know. It'd be simpler to go, if we go on their property and you just put something that we could raise and lower. It wouldn't necessarily have, I guess you would want to lower if the hurricanes come and the lake's gonna go up tremendously, so you
Let's see.
could flow it out. But something to
See
maintain
that?
a healthy level, so
Yeah.
I know it will drop below that, but so it won't run out prematurely before the lake gets in. And my question was, could we actually state build something or the town build something on the state? Because it said somewhere in there that you cannot build anything on the lake bottom without the state
Approval, correct.
approval.
Mm-hmm.
So, would they give the town or something approval to come out and put something over the end of that canal? It wouldn't restrict his property, who's gonna walk down the canal,
Right.
but.
One,
Anyway,
one of the comments that Lane made to me towards the end of our conversation had to do with what Tina was mentioning, the stormwater. Because he said that he knew, he said, I know that there's several pipes that had in the past been put in and that were not regulated or approved or whatever, which was a big no-no, but they're not gonna go just, oh, we gotta rip that out and really mess, the flow up. But I think that's being discussed in that plan of the stormwater deal. And so maybe we'll gain, like she said, looking at that, we can gain some understanding too, as far as regulations, state regulations,
So the two culverts under White Lake Road, do you think that's what that's about?
probably. He didn't say which ones. He just said that he said, I know that there's pipes that have been put in. He said, we're not saying they gotta be ripped, but we gotta have a plan.
do they run to the lake?
One is down Liza's property
Okay,
and the other one is down Tim Clifton's.
so they take water out here,
No,
No.
They put
no.
water in.
Water goes
the
in.
water goes in.
Well, they put unfiltered water in. That's the
Okay.
big-
Correct. Yeah.
Wasn't there a couple of years ago, a survey and went around and identified like 50 some
There is.
pipes?
It's in that.
That's part of what he's talking
It
about
shows the
too.
dots.
And then they were gonna do something about it and nothing's ever been done about it.
Well, that's what Tina was referring to with the
Gotcha.
planning. They're planning something to do with the stormwater now to
Gotcha.
rectify that, right?
Like, right now, there's a pipe that all the rainwater that falls on the venue dumps this far from the lake and runs into the lake. Pipes like that. Who regulates those and who can do something about it?
I know a lot of people had their gutters hooked up to pipe that ran water to the lake. Now, to me, that, I didn't see a problem. That was rainwater.
Right.
But, Steve Bunn was in charge of that, came around and, had everybody, disconnect that.
There's a pipe in Waterford. There's two pipes in Waterford. And I've been told that all the storm water from Waterford runs into the lake there.
Well, that was all low land. Right? I mean,
Oh,
so
yeah,
that makes
that's
sense
swamp.
that you're gonna put something when they were developing
But
it.
you think those people put fertilizer on their garden?
No, ma'am, I don't think so.
It is a
They just
part,
stay green year round.
it is a part of anything with the stormwater, dealing with, types of concrete to have pervious concrete.
I'll be check out.
Okay.
I'll put a copy with your old agenda back and we'll go line.
On the town's
It's the-
site.
Have you guys been, some people were,
I sent it to you last week.
something.
Okay.
But Jim Perry,
Yeah,
yeah, I sent you one.
yeah.
I can't look at it.
Yeah, because with technologies, there's all kinds of things now that
Oh,
can
yeah.
help with that kind of stuff. Yeah, because I know one of the ordinances that the town did, I don't know what year, but any campgrounds or anything now has to be paved. Well, when I was young, it was all just sandy roads. We didn't pave anything, but now if you do sites, I don't know if the pads have to be there for the campers, but I know it's when Miss Brenda was working here, she explained to me that all new campgrounds had to be paved roads.
That's what, about 3 or 4 good questions?
We've got about half.
Oh, well, I've got several, but as far as seawalls, we asked several. The overflow, we're asking several. Yes, sir.
So what I have is, how is the high water mark determined, or how is it established? Is there a historic mark? Alan says there's the statute that determines it, but I guess we need to revisit that, what they know. What does regulation mean regarding seawalls? What does regulation cover? And more seawalls be added.
Can
Who
you put-
approves-
Can you put on that one, who approves?
Who approves seawall construction was my next one.
Okay, I'm sorry.
State Parks and Rec.
Okay.
Is there an approval process? Is it on state property or homeowner's property? Is there a master plan of what the state's property begins and ends at water's edge? What does state Parks and Rec monitor? General management duties, what is that?
Yes.
And what are your monitoring duties to the canal at Turtle Cove? How can we regulate the water level? Can the state deal at the canal out into the lake around the entrance of? That would not be on anybody's property, that would be
On state.
Right.
state's property, I think that's genius. And there was one. I was thinking of a question to go with one, what it was.
Was it about the pipes?
We didn't have that.
I don't know.
Who monitors?
Yeah. Yeah, who regulates and monitors the stormwater pipes?
But they're looking into that now. Aren't they?
Y'all are forming, or the planning board is developing.
Stormwater plan, yeah, but. Tina, do you know when they're gonna have it to us?
I won't ever say everyone try to get it on the same months. But you guys have seen the draft. Have you seen the draft?
I think so.
If the Keiths don't want to sell that land, and we're concerned about having some type of structure there that's more than sandbags, and then decide who manages that. What kind, help me understand what kind of access they're looking for, because they're not looking for a lot to build on, I assume, because we have the only outlet right there. So what about if somehow or another, from money somewhere, we came up with, we will build this structure on your land. You don't have to sell it to us, but we will build a real monitoring device.
One or the other, and if they didn't want to do that for some reason, I don't know why, but people have reasons, could we move it out to the lake? But yeah, that would be the simplest thing.
Yeah.
Because like I said, it's not gonna affect, I mean, unless they want to just fill it in, they get more. That's fine with us. They'll get more lot, the use when they decide to develop it. Just go ahead and let them.
There
fill it.
were two of those overflows
Huh?
and Ross.
Yeah, we do need
There
an
used to be two overflows
Yeah.
and Ross Huggins lives with
Lives on the other one, yeah.
the developers. built.
Yeah.
So
I do
it's
agree the
several
lake
lots.
needs an overflow.
That's the way it started.
Yeah.
And that was one of the reasons that we have a clear lake.
I
with the
thought
flood.
was over here, like in that last, is it Pine something, right there before you get to the fence in the chapel in Camp Clearwater?
That's what I thought.
That's where the lake used to overflow.
That's what I thought years ago.
Yeah, there's a study showing that. That's when they had the grist mill.
Mhm.
They had the grist mill right there.
Melvin Gris. Yeah, but yeah, after.
Flow
Mhm.
out there.
Because all this stayed wet back here when we used to hunt, when when Chet was here, James's youngest son.
But at the same time, where the swamp was the natural filter, it also took in water,
Yes.
and it does not anymore. They
Okay.
finally finished filling in the
Yeah.
lakefront over there.
Mhm.
They didn't do this at 12 o'clock either.
There's one
I
lot,
just got filled up before.
there's one lot that's virgin between Turtle Cove and Keats. It belongs to cousin Keats,
Okay.
like his first name is Keats.
Well, the swamp is, they're filling in right there on the water line all the way down. And at some point, I've understood that since it's wetlands, they were stopped. About back in the 60s, there was this 20-some loads of sand that was hauled in, and they were stopped. And then the answer was that was a mistake. We only ordered one load of sand, and they accidentally brought 25. But that continues to happen. And you can ride over there and you can see how there is a shoreline built up all the way down there. There is no way any water can get into a swampy area, and still that's wetlands. And yeah, there are all kinds of things you do with wetlands, but has that been done?
Well,
And
see,
how do anybody control that?
Look, I honestly, cause I lived there, and most of that dirt was hauled in late at night,
Yes.
continuously. It won't no 20-25 loads.
No, this is no, absolutely. Yeah, when it was developed,
Went
yeah.
on for the longest time, and I think what they had to do was say, oh, we didn't know that or something. If you do that, you have to go create wetlands somewhere.
Exactly, swap out.
So you're creating hundreds and hundreds of $1,000s of property on the lake, and you're going over and somewhere else, nowhere, it's not worth anything, and creating wetlands. And that's the state though, that's state rules, but, yeah, I wholeheartedly agree, it's.
Yeah, that was done all during the night, and then there was
Yeah.
a big
It
controversy
was
in the
in the
middle of the
90s.
night with some law enforcement and all kinds of other stuff
Yeah,
happened.
I
That's when it
moved in
stopped.
the late 80s. And
Yeah. Well, the concept along those lines, I thought back in 2018, when we really had the problems and everybody was on board, let's do this, do this. And it seems like there was some discussion in the little group that, Tom and them were involved, and I thought there was some concept that we could do like a spillway, a larger spillway and like a park area that could take it into the swamp, and we could have beautiful rock flows and all that kind of stuff. And I thought that was kind of discussed when we had the group, when we were talking about spraying and got the spraying done. But that was one of the concepts, because we addressed that. Of course, we addressed the sludge that the spraying was going to create when we killed all the algae, what was going to happen with that sludge that we created. But
Let's get back to these questions
Yeah.
for Parks and Rec. We're at an hour.
So,
oh, I'm sorry, I'm trying to think of with the water flow and the border being created with that.
So you have a question about the who would approve or build a structure there at the overflow to remove the sandbags and better regulate?
I would think the state would want to do that to maintain the health of the lake. To me, it would fall in there, but that'd be something we can deal with later once we find out what we could do or not.
Well, it'd be interesting, I mean, for them to tell us though, are we looking, which way do we need to direct that to pursue it? Because it sounds to me like from some of the things I read that report, we need a new connection in Raleigh to listen and
so have we got enough, for Lane?
I would think so, especially if we want them back in for October's meeting. I would think so.
I think, it would be good to have an open-ended, is there anything you'd like to tell us that would help us with our goals to you know, keep the lake healthy and get some water in it and make the water quality better. So just sort of an open-ended question at the end there. So, because there may be a lot of things that they would like us to know, but we're not asking. You know, I mean,
Makes sense, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
so,
And lots of times it's a matter of how you ask and what you ask, right?
Yeah.
To get answers.
sure.
Well, Jim Perry is going to be speaking this coming weekend, and he's going to go through a lot of very briefly, only about 10 minutes, but he's going to talk about who we need to talk to and this kind of thing and the recommendations and such. And along those lines, I'm aware of time. I don't want to get off the subject, but someone who has helped a whole lot. Matter of fact, when I went into the district office back for 2018 and said, we need some help. And they introduced me to Kent White. And Kent now, he's helped us a whole lot, but he's under basically a gag order, is what I understood. But I called Mark Brantley, who's supposedly the district director right now, and he said, it's not a gag order. I said, we couldn't do anything because we were getting questions from everywhere.
Okay.
And he said, we're waiting. He said, I am waiting to find out some group, some person, something that would be the spearhead to do something. And I'd be glad to talk with them, but I'm not going to talk to 14 different people. We're just spending too much time.
Mhm.
So I've sent him an email or text and said, I believe this is the group. So anyway, I just throw that out there that if we can get that going so that we actually are trying to do something, have the wherewithal, follow through and everything, then it's kind of like every time I've been up the state and been there many times, and they said, we will help you.
Okay.
We will help you. Y'all going everywhere
Right.
and you're not doing what we're telling you to do.
Well, I feel like that's what this
And that's-
advisory board was created for.
And that's exactly what I sent him the email. I said, I think we got a group. Let us get it together.
Right,
And then I think you need to be talking to us and with us.
yes,
But
yes,
I sent that to him
thank you.
today.
Thank you.
It sounds like we're on number 2, brainstorm other speakers.
Let me give Terry one thing while she, to
Okay.
put in his notes, is, the email that we need to send those to is, it's Singletary dot Lake at ncparks with an S .gov. And then just put attention Lane Garner on. And then he'll get them and get back to us with the. Thank you. Okay, yeah, number 2,
So Mark Brantley is with what group, what part of
district.
state?
I understand that Mark Brantley is a district supervisor of DEQ for this division. He took Trent Allen's place, is the way I understand it.
Good to get in,
Mhm.
I guess. Since we want to meet some other time here in November or December. We can discuss that. next.
Well, yeah,
Or do we want to go ahead and contact him about meeting us?
well, he's establishing the connection with him.
Okay.
So let's do that and then see what his kind of schedule is, and then we can
Say
talk
we're-
about it.
Say we're very interested.
Right,
Yeah.
because hopefully we're gonna have this to discuss. Several of these answers to discuss next meeting. And then we can find out from him what he's thinking.
You can give these answers next meeting and start making your list for the EQ.
Yes,
Based on the Jim Carrey presentation.
yes. Yeah, I think so. Everybody agree with that?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yes, that's
if we
good
needed to
idea.
meet like mid-month or something, we can do that, right? We're
Well,
not,
October 28th is our next,
well, if we needed
23rd.
to meet.
23rd.
14th or something, whatever date that is, 2 weeks, whatever. We could, the 19th, we could do that or something. I mean, if somebody's available to speak with us or talk.
Oh,
to us,
sure,
yeah,
sure.
we could call a special.
We just have to make sure that it's publicly, Tina puts it out there and it's publicly, advertised.
Yeah.
I was just saying, we can talk about it. If we need to meet, instead of 23rd, we can meet the 30th. So that's still in the month.
Yeah.
Yes.
Following Thursday. But
Yes.
we'll talk
How
about
much
it.
notice do you have to have?
I need to do it like the Friday before the actual meeting's supposed to take place.
Okay, Friday before.
That's how I'm gonna, like,
Okay,
and sometimes I'm planning what we do cancel the day up. But I need to put the meeting out there. I don't wanna go through that, let's get on the agenda, like the packets together and then change.
yeah,
You know, sometimes otherwise.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't have that. Yeah, yeah.
Especially in the beginning.
If we had to choose. We do have to publish it.
Okay, the next thing, item number 3 is an announcement for the White Lake cleanup, which is sponsored by the White Lake Friends. And that's Saturday, the 18th. And I know they're, asking for what, areas?
Yeah,
They've got a list and kind of a map, streets or areas that for whoever's available to help with that.
let me ask Kurt. Do we need to assign somewhere around your house, or is the sludge do that?
We don't know if we were gonna hit there for this.
Right, they know.
Are you talking October 18th this is?
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was just looking to see.
So all your sludge may be at my house by then.
Be a great anniversary present for you.
We get more gusts of wind like we just had. There's a lot of things gonna be moved around.
Like 53 or 54 volunteers.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, most of the lake is filled, but I haven't found a lot over there because sometimes when the sludge is so bad, nobody fits in.
I thought it was somebody in our neighborhood.
But the guy have a son, yeah, Sunny Sterls is always it.
I mean, it's just organic sludge, right? It's nothing. We'll break that up already.
So item number 4, we've already done that. So any other business?
Well, and maybe this comes under open forum, but I found, I'm one of those people who thinks, you've never had this an original problem or challenge. Somebody's already had it before you have, and somebody's already addressed it before you've addressed it. So I always look, for, people who have addressed questions and things and to see how they do them. And I was looking online and found Friends of Lake Glenville in North Carolina, near Asheville. They've been a 501c3 for 40 years.
Is that the one that's high elevated?
I think so. It's a mountain lake and I think it's a Duke Reservoir. But anyway, their mission is very much like the White Lake Friends, almost identical. But they've been monitoring for all this time. And I would suggest that you go to their site and look at their monitoring reports. They're very different from what we're getting.
Yeah.
And the name of it is Friends of Lake Glenville. GLENVILLE. Friends of Lake Glenville. And it might make a good speaker for us to have one of their board members or somebody from their group come and speak to us. Maybe they're monitoring people. They have a North Carolina monitoring group, and it's called Equinox Environmental. And they provide all the reports and all of the monitoring, and they're monitoring at least a dozen
Oh, wow.
factors, variables. So that was really interesting to me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's a beautiful area.
Mhm.
I've never been close enough to touch the water, but I've seen it from Parkway and Mount Mitchell, going up to Mount Mitchell and some of the other areas. No development that I remember, right? I don't think there's any,
The lake
Much of
has
any?
computers and things.
but not like us.
No, not like that.
Mhm. Anybody else have anything?
I'll make a move, we adjourn.
Second.
I think we're all in favor. All right.
You want to hand that back to?
Oh,
Yeah, that goes back to. Or,
What's up next? Oh, okay, sorry about being unclear. I just hate stuff bound up, better just be able to put them go.
Thanks, everybody.
this is exciting.
Yeah.
Exciting.
Nice to meet you.
My pleasure. Absolutely.
everybody.